working tirelessly throughout this entire campaign. We also have my colleagues here today, Hamish, Demi, here to assist you with any questions throughout the auction process. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the vendors for entrusting us with the sale. On this prime piece of real estate behind us, to the neighbours in the crowd, thank you for coming and for making Twyford Street one of the best streets to live in Box Hill North. To the bidders in the crowd, thank you for coming, and we wish you all the best in the bidding procedure. And to the one lucky buyer, we congratulate you in advance on your astute purchase. This auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that are made available before the commencement of the auction. As auctioneer, I'll be indicating bidders upon request and the rights to place bids on behalf of the sellers, otherwise known as vendor bids. If when I decide to place those bids, I'll simply say vendor bid. This auction approves false bids, purpose major disruptions by bidders, attempting to prevent us from bidding, and provides fines for misconduct. And last but not least, when this paperwork hits my hand and this property is deemed sold, I'll absolutely take no late bids and offers beyond that point. If you're successful, beat me to it. Before the auction rules, $1.2 million, 1.2 opening bidder here. Keen to get it started, don't want to hear me talk. Here to buy the property, $1.2 million, opening bid on my left-hand side. $1.2 million here on my left-hand side. As I said before, ladies and gentlemen, $1.2 million here. Ladies and gentlemen, as an auctioneer, I have the right to play vendor bids on behalf of the sellers, and if I do that, I'll simply say vendor bid. Anyway, besides from that, settlement times, 10% deposit, 30 to 60 days settlement, sorry. 1.21. Second bidder here at 1,210,000 at 1.21 next to Hamish. 1.21 here on my right. At 1.21, bids back against you. Grady, what do you say at 1.21? Looks like all the guys have got to choose. They don't need me to explain the area, explain the house itself. 1.21. Let you know as soon as we are. Don't get too excited at 1.21. At 1.21 here on the right hand side. Bids back against you, sir. Put in another bid, sir, we might get there. At $1,210,000 now. At 1.21. At 1.21 here on my right. At $1,210,000. First call, 1.21. Second opportunity here. 20, thank you, back in front, 1.22. At 1.22 to my opening bidder. Bids back against you, Hamish, what do you say? Gentleman putting his hand up. I think he's just saying hi to a friend. At 1.22. At 1.22 here now on the left hand side. Hamish, what do you say? Let's try for 40. Let's go straight to 40. Let's go straight to 40. And I'll say yes to the question that you said before. 20 is for the opening bidder who's got the bottle of champagne. Yes. 1.22. 1.22. At 1.22, ladies and gentlemen, you can't go wrong with this site here. North-facing backyard. Beautiful location, wide frontage, ladies and gentlemen. Gas ducted heating, evaporative cooling, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, ladies and gentlemen. 596 square meters of land, $1,220,000. Here on my left-hand side, first call, 1.22. Second opportunity now at $1,220,000. Third and final call, 1.22.
1.23.
1.23. Welcome back in front, sir. We've missed you at 1.23. 1.23 bids back against you, sir. What do you say? 1.23 on my right. At $1,230,000. Can I see 40? 40. Thank you. In front here, 1.24. We're on the market and selling, ladies and gentlemen. For no better bidding here today, 1.24. You'll be walking away with the keys here today at 1.24 now. We're selling away at 1.24. No better bidding here. $1,240,000 here on my left-hand side. 1.24. At $1,240,000. No further interest from the crowd. Will sell away at 1.24. At 1.24 now. At $1,240,000. Here on my left-hand side. First call at 1.24.
No 10.
Another 10.50. 50 back in front. Jim, what do you say? 1.25. At $1,250,000. Great location in Box Hill North, close to Kirramure shops, primary schools, bus services, Box Hill Central, Westfield, Doncaster at $1,250,000 here on my right. 1.25. At 1.25, Jim, can I see another bid here? My opening bid here. At $1,250,000. 1,250. 60 back in front, 1.26. At $1,260,000. 1,260. At $1,260,000 now on my left. At 1,260. At $1,260,000 now on my left-hand side. 1,260.
下一个也得抢，对不对？
Surely, sir, if you saw value at 1,250.
下一个也最快好，万一下快抢不到呢？
1.26.
确定
$1,260,000
这边的
now.
地都这样，大部分 box notes 都不在600， 都是590多、
$1,260,000 now, boys.
我2周前卖了在 Warehouse Four， 那路很吵的，585的地卖了126。
也就差不多。再。
$1,260,000. Any other buyers in the crowd? 1.26 will be selling away. First call at 1.26. Second opportunity at 1.265. Welcome to the bidding here, sir. At 1.265. At $1,265,000. New interest here only means one thing, ladies and gentlemen. We're still in a great value buying zone. At 1.265. Bids back against you, Jim. At 1.265. At $1,265,000 now. 1.265. 70.
70.
5. 75. 1, 2 and 3 quarters. At $1,275,000 now. 1.275. Zone for Kirramure Primary School, Blackburn High, ladies and gentlemen. We've got bus services. 270 bus, 279 bus, all within close proximity here at $1,275,000 with Granny here at 1.275. 1.275. Sir, can I see 80? Can I see 80 to get you back in front? 80. 80 here now, 1.28. At $1,280,000 now, Granny, what do you say? At 1.28 on my left. At $1,280,000 now. 1.280. At $1,280,000 now. 1.280. At $1,280,000 now. 82. 82. Bit slowing down. That should give you confidence, sir. At $1,085,000. At 1.285. 88. 1.288. At $1,288,000 here. 1.288. 90 back in front. At 1 million. 1.3 bang. At 1.3 good bidding here. That's how you purchase prime real estate in Box Hill North. They're shaking their head now. That's how you purchase real estate. 1.3 here on the right. At 1.3. At 1.30. At $1,300,000 now. Could be that knockout bid that we're looking for. At $1,300,000 now. 1.30. In, out. Need to know. Any further interest here? No. Thank you. 1.3. That could have been the last bid, sir. At 1.3. How about you try 1? At 1.3. At 1.3. A lot of buyers set the limits on those round figures, so if you go above that, you could secure the property here. At $1,300,000 now. First call at 1.3. Second opportunity now at $1,300,000. 5,000. Welcome to the bidding here. 1.305. We've had 4 bidders involved here today. ladies and gentlemen, at 1305. That should give you confidence, ladies and gentlemen. You're buying prime real estate. 1.31. At 1.31, bids back against you, Hamish. 1,310. At $1,310,000 now. 1,310. At 1,300. 515 in front here. 20 back in front. 1.32. At $1,320,000 now. 1,320 back in front. At $1,320,000 now. 1,320. Hamish, what do you say? At 1,320. Bids back against you, sir. At 1,320. Can I see a quarter to get you back in front? At $1,320,000 now. 1,320. At $1,320,000 now. First call. 1,320. Second opportunity now at 1,002,022. 22 back in front. 25. 1,3 and a quarter at 1,325. At 1,325 here with Demi at $1,325,000 now. 1,325 on my right. At 1.33 back in front here at $1,330,000 now. At 1,330. At 1,040 back in front. At 1,340. At $1,340,000 with Demi here. At 1,340. At $1,340,000 on my right. At 1,340 now. At 1,340. At 1,035.
35.
We're at 40 already.
135.
135. 1,350 back in front. 1,350 at $1,350,000. 1,350 now. At 1,350 here with Hamish. At 1,350. At $1,350,000 here. 55. 1,355 at $1,355,000 now. Bids back against you here. At 1,355. At $1,355,000. Need to know. 1,355. At $1,355,000. Here on my right hand side, 1,355. Bids back against you, Hamish. What do you say? 1,355. In out. Need to know. 1,355. First call at $1,355,000. Second opportunity at $1,355,000. Third and final call. Another 560, 1,360 back in front. At $1,360,000 now. At 165. 65 back in front. Good bidding here. At 1,365. At $1,365,000 here on my right. At 1,365. At $1,365,000 now.
138.
80, good bidding here. 1,380, lucky number 8. At 1,380. 88, back in front. Double 8 here on my right hand side. 1,388. At $1,388,000 on my right. At 1,388. At $1,388,000 now on my right. Hamish, what do you say? Perhaps go straight to 1,4. At $1,388,000 now. 1,388. At $1,388,000.
139.
1,390. $2,000 increment here. At 1,390.
92.
92 back in front. 1,392. At $1,392,000. Bids back against you, Hamish. At 1,392. At $1,392,000 now. 1,392. At $1,392,000. Wide frontage, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect. If you want to redevelop, or if you want to keep the existing home itself. Rental income of $660 per week.
95.
95, 1,395. At 1,395, 1.4 is looming here. At 1,395. At 1,395. At 1,395, gentlemen's saying he's out. He's shaking his head the wrong way. At 1,395. At $1,395,000. You miss out on this opportunity, sir. Where are you going to find another property like this in Box Hill North? At 1,395. At $1,395,000. $1,395,000. First call, 1395. Second opportunity at $1,395,000. Third and final call, 1395. In, out, need to know, $1,395,000. Last chance, sir. You can change your mind if you want. At 1395. Are you sure you've been with me since the beginning? Hate for you to miss out now, late stages of the auction here. I believe they probably set the limit at 1.4, sir. So if you go to first, or if you go just a little bit above that, you could have the property here today at 1395. Don't drop the baton at the last moment, sir. 1395. You've been with us since the beginning, with interest rates expected to come down, sir, and the market expected to pick up in the next 12 months in Melbourne. Melbourne hasn't had as much growth compared to other capital cities in Australia. Now it's time for it to grow up as well. At $1,395,000, here's your chance to bid and buy before prices go up even higher. Wouldn't have been good if you purchased earlier this year or last year, but here we are, 1395. Sure, thank you, at $1,395,000. First, second, third and final call, $1,395,000 on behalf of the team at Chen Real Estate. This property is selling. This property is selling. 500. Welcome to the bidding here, ma'am. 1395, 500. New interest here. We've got 5 bidders involved here today at 1395, 500. At 1,300,000, 500 here. At 1,395,000, 500. At 1395, 500 here. At 1,395,000, 500, sir. That could be the last bid here. Testing the luck here. 1395. 500 here. At 1395 and a half. At 1,395,000, 500 here on my right hand side. Need to know buyers. At 1395, 500 here. Hamish, let the buyers know they're going to miss out. Don't lose it for $500. At 1395, 500. At 1,395,000, 500. 1.4 bang, good bidding here now, 1.4. 1.4 bids back against you, ma'am. What do you say? Another 500 or perhaps 1,000 to get you in front. 1.4 here with Hamish. At 1.4 on my left hand side. At 1.4 now. At 1.4. 1.4, ma'am. What do you say? Let's try another bid here. 1.4. Try another one. 500. Another 500, Hamish. 1.4 and 500. 1.4 and 500. We're man here on the phone here at 1.4 and a half. 1.4, 500 here on my right hand side. 1.4, 500. At $1,400,000 and $500 here on my right hand side. Any further interest here, Hamish? 1.4, 500. 1.4, 500. Hamish, any further interest here? Need to know. 1.4, 500. Otherwise, we'll be selling away to the highest bidder here on my right at $1,400,500. At $1,400,500. They've come in at the last minute. That could be the limit, sir. Test the bid. What do you have to lose? If you put in another bid and you get the property, best thing that could happen to you. If they bid on top of that, you lose nothing, sir. At $1,400,500 here on my right. At 1.40 and a half. Don't miss out for $500 here today. At $1,400,500. Looks like the $500 bid may have done the trick. At $1,400,000 and $500 here now. Here on my right, $1,400,500. Here on my right hand side. They're shaking their head the wrong way at the moment at 1.40,500. What did I tell you? So you went to 1.4 first, or just a little bit over 1.4. You could get the property here at 1.4 and a half. At 1.4 and a half, sir. Give you the same courtesy. You can go 500 as well if you want. At 1.40 and a half. at 140.5. Any interest, ma'am? No, thank you. At $1,400,500 here on my right. Going to be selling away. First call now at $1,400,500 here on my right. Second opportunity now at $1,400,500. Third and final call, $1,400,500. All done, finished, silent. Last chance, last bid, sure, thank you. On behalf of the team at Chen Real Estate. Number 4, Twyford Street. New owners here on my right hand side. Neighbours, have a look at $1,400,500. This property is selling. This property is selling. Put your hands together to the new purchasers. This property is, last chance, this property is sold. Congratulations. Commiserations to the bidders. Congratulations to our vendors. Thank you for attending another CHN auction.
Thank you.